One, two, 1, 2, 3. Now, it may just be me, but I think that they can stand to take a couple of links out of that chain. Just saying. Probably more than a couple. Okay, I think it's safe to say I got all the goodie out of that shaft. See where the disc has been boring into the shaft? The discs are a little bit wallered out. The hole is, I got one of them that's cracked. One of the pans is cracked. The one on the outside. So that one there. So I'm gonna look to see how much it is to rebuild this stuff. The new shaft, I'd like to change them to seal bearings and closed holders to keep crap from getting in there. Like I said, the spacers are all right, and the threads are all right on the shaft. But I'm gonna look and see how much it is to rebuild a gang. If I can do a gang this year and do 2 gangs this year and 2 gangs next year, depending on how expensive they are. If it's gonna cost me $400 or $500 to rebuild just one of them, then I can take extra $400 or $500 and get me a brand new one if I want to. Because it's just not going to be worth it. But I'm going to see how much it's going to cost. I don't think it's going to cost a whole heck of a lot. That right there is probably going to be the biggest expense for the bearings and the holders. Those are 18-inch pans. I didn't realize that, but I'm pretty sure they're 18-inch pans. And like I said, if you're going to replace the shaft, you really need to replace the pans because the pans are wallered out already. Let me see. This one ain't too bad. Further, sorry. Further you get to the outside, the worse you get. See, look at that one and look at that one. See, that one's wallered some. That one's wallered out a lot. Let me see. This one got the cracks in it. See the cracks? It's really wallered out. So, if I'm gonna replace, I mean that's almost round. If I'm gonna replace the shaft, you see that's what it is. It's wore down enough to where it's eating in that shaft and rubbing that shaft away. And if I can, like I said, I don't think the pans are terribly expensive. I don't think the shafts are terribly expensive. I don't think the bearings are terribly expensive. Bearings maybe about $30 each. It's the holders. Well, see, that's not really a bearing. That's just a bushing in there. So I'd like to upgrade those and replace those. I want to keep the frame. I like the frame. Frame has it where you can, it's lever adjusted in the front and the back. And it's not in really bad shape. Frame is made pretty well, so I'd like to keep the frame. That's the only reason I want to decide to see if I can't rebuild one of the gangs. But we'll see how much it's going to cost to do that. Like I said, if I'm going to replace the shaft, I might as well replace the discs, because if you put those discs right back on the new shaft, it's just going to waller it out too. So we'll go and see. All right, y'all look at this big bad voodoo daddy. This is an old ammo box converted into a deer feeder. Or any kind of feeder, I guess, that you want to do, you know. I got this from my uncle. He made this up and he gave it to me. Thank you, Uncle Philip. The pan down there, the feed pan, is a little rusted out, so I got some rubber spray on rubber stuff that I'm gonna spray down in there, let it dry good, and then see what she'll do. I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, it works just as well as anything else, any kind of tube feeder, you know. You see these tube feeders where they got PVC, got about a 6-inch or 4-inch PVC pipe, and at the bottom of it, it's just got it open, so with another little, you know, elbow or something, so it just, you know, stays there. But shoot, this is just as good, if not better, than anything. So before I put any more trail cameras out, I got to get this one, and I got another PVC feeder as well. I'm gonna put it out, but I'm gonna try to spray over that rust a little bit and kind of get it to where it's not rusty. We'll see how that does. All right, I got that rubber in the can sprayed in the pan down there. Once that dries, it's still pretty wet. I guess that once it dries and solidifies or something, I'll flip it over and do the underside. Kind of interested to see how this works. All right, I got the bottom. Rubberized. It's still a little wet. I went ahead and sprayed the hooks, the little mountain hooks that are on there. Sprayed them too. We'll see how good this stuff works. It's still a little tacky right now, but it's rubbery. I mean, it's got some, you know, rubber qualities to it there. So, see, oh, got one straggler there. I'm gonna have to paint that. Look at that. That's gonna ruin the whole thing. I quit. I'm giving up. Forget it. Okay, I went and got me a couple of these mixing tubs. They're really made for mixing up, you know, fertilizer and soil and stuff for a little small garden, or you can use it for a little small box garden. But what I did to make me some troughs, I went and got me a couple of them. And what I did is I had an old bridge that I had made over there for one side of my vehicle over there at the creek, at one of my creeks that we got. And I went over there and got it because they had fixed the road back there. So I went over there and got that little bridge. It wasn't very big. It was just a bunch of 4x4s laid down. But I went and got it, cut a couple of them to split them in half. Split them in half, and that's what I'm using for my bases. I don't want this thing sitting on the ground. I want it to be able to drain somewhere in case of water, in case it rains. So I got these, and I've got them screwed down tight, and I went and, I don't know if y'all can see all the holes. I put all them holes in there so there'll be no standing water in there. And like I said, I can put corn. Mostly what's gonna be in this is corn anyway. So anyway, that's all I had to say about that. But anyway, that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna put one of these down by the pond, and the one that I made either last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever I made it, it was it had to be last weekend because there's still corn in it. That's just not a very, doesn't draw a lot of critters right there. Not right now. It has been in the past. It's been a real good place for me in the past, but yeah, I'm gonna put some holes in this, and that way I'll have two of them. Well, as y'all can tell, there ain't much going on down here. This is corn from last week. The peanuts are gone, but the corn's still here. I bet I'll have better luck over there at the pond, though. All right, see, this is what I was talking about. This is what I've been doing is just pouring it on the ground around here, and it's been doing fine. It's just a mess. So I got the trough and put a little bit too much in there. I think I got a little carried away. But I got it put in there. Got the peanuts full, corn put in there. So see how well this does. Alright, so before I leave out this week, before I run off this week, I'm going to ride down here to the pond and see if anything ate on any of that corn that I put out last night. I'm sure it has. I'm just kind of curious on how much difference it made with it being excuse me, in a trough. Well, the peanuts are gone. No surprise there. These peanuts are gone. Maybe something tore into the doggone corn too. There's still a good bit of it left, so. Alright, I just wanted to check. I'm gonna start getting rid of them peanut jugs. I'm gonna have to go back to my molasses block. Those peanuts are usually gone within a night. Yeah. Alright, just wanted to check.